I'm on my way to Badger 5 to get my little TT rolling roaded and remapped.
This is the most nerve-wracking bit of the whole build. Is it going to blow up?
That's what we expect. 99% of them do that.
They forged the crank, right?
Yeah, it's a forged.
But they left the rods. Today I've decided to bring the Audi TT down to DM Repairs to get the timing belt done. I don't know if it's ever been done, and if it has, it was probably a long time ago. And every now and again I get a cam warning or cam engine light on saying exhaust cam retarded, over retarded, which suggests to me that the timing belt needs to be replaced. It's usually a sign. So rather than run the gauntlet, I've decided to come and get it replaced by the guys here. So let's see how it's done.
The timing belt is one of those often overlooked maintenance items that is really vital to your engine's survival. If your timing belt snaps or even slips, the likelihood is that you're going to cause massive engine damage, which will result in, at best, a top-end rebuild, and at worst, a complete engine rebuild. So for the sake of a few £100, it makes a lot of sense to make sure your timing belt is done on time and with the most quality parts. My timing belt was in a terrible state, and I'm really glad I did it, especially bearing in mind I'm planning to tune this car. It was completely slack, meaning the belt was either stretched or the tensioner was completely knackered, or probably a bit of both. Either way, had I driven this car for another week or two, there's a very good chance my belt would have failed, costing me an engine. So, massive thank you to DM Repairs for sorting this one out for me. I also need to send a huge thank you to the Vehicle Hub for supplying me with this Gates timing belt kit, which comes with a brand new water pump and a brand new tensioner as well. I also took the opportunity to take out and inspect my spark plugs and fit some brand new NGK Iridium spark plugs. This makes a lot of sense once again if you're going to do any kind of tuning to the car. As you can see, we've fitted the belt now, checked the timing marks. Now it's time to double check and start the engine.
So the old belt is off, new belt is on. Now what we need to do is turn over the engine by hand using the crank pulley, just to make sure there's no resistance and that the timing marks come back to where they're supposed to be. That way we know the timing's correct before we start the engine. Because if you start the engine and the time is incorrect, it'll be the last time you start that engine. And she's alive once again. Well, she never died really, did she? She was gonna die, but we fixed it. So she runs sweet as a nut. Topping up our fluids that we lost, our coolant, obviously we had to drain all of that. A bit of power steering fluid because we lost a little bit of that, but otherwise it's sweet. New sparks are in. Only thing I need to address now is this little puppy down here, this little N80 I think it's called, N80 valve, because the fuel tank's pressurizing. Don't know why it does that, but I've ordered one that should be here Friday. Otherwise the car's sweet as a nut, so we're all good.
I popped over to H-Sport Performance because the car needed its dreaded MOT. Now this is the first time I've ever MOT'd this car, so I was a little bit nervous. However, H-Sport are the right guys to take it to. They are very thorough, but they make a lot of racing cars, a lot of track stuff, so they know what they're looking at, and if there was an issue, they would definitely be the right guys to fix it. So let's get her on the ramp and have a look and hope for the best. H-Sport are another company that have really supported my channel from day one, and I really enjoy working and chatting to Connor and the boys. They're a great bunch, very friendly and very knowledgeable when it comes down to race car stuff, so I've had a lot of information from them to help me along with this build. We did an underbody inspection, checking for any corrosion, checking the suspension, checking for any leaks or anything odd, and Funnily enough, there was absolutely nothing wrong with the car. And then for the final nerve-wracking bit, which is the emissions test, but this car only has a catback exhaust system, so I was pretty confident that this was going to pass. And surprisingly, my little TT passed with absolutely flying colours and not a single advisory. I did a lot of research before deciding where I should take my car to be tuned, and Badger 5 seemed to pop up all of the time. I did speak to Bill and he seemed to know what he was talking about, and after doing a bit more research I found out that Badger 5 seemed to be the best in the game when it comes to VAG group cars or any 1.8 turbo VAG engine cars. So I brought the car down, and I knew I was in the right place because these guys did an absolutely thorough inspection on the car before even taking it to the dyno. They checked for oil leaks, coolant leaks, they did a smoke test to check for any vac or breather hose leaks, which these cars are very common for, and they also fitted a 80mm silicone intake hose which Badger 5 produced themselves. This should help with performance and ensure that the car has a good dyno run.
You're getting ready to do a stock run, see what she's actually running. Can we do any guesses? Any guesses? I'm guessing. I'm gonna be confident and say 174.
Gosh. I'm gonna go 228.
228.
221.
221.
215, I'd say.
215. Wow, you guys are very confident. I mean, I don't know. I haven't driven like a good one to be able to compare how this one drives.
Yeah.
It feels like it's got strong power. It goes well. It doesn't do anything weird. Pulls when it needs to pull, but this is where the numbers matter. So the winner will get a pastry from the calf. Whoever's closest, I'll get him a pastry.
All to play for.
Yeah.
Attention.
Yeah. The stakes are high right now.
Oh, Jesus.
So these out of the box are supposed to be what, 225, 223?
225.
225.
Yeah.
Do you know what BAM stands for?
Oh, it's just 3 letters. It doesn't mean anything.
You sure? Because I know the Germans like to throw their little 3 letters and it turns out to be some really obscure mad German word that means something.
Yeah, not engine code wise.
Okay.
Just literally a 3-letter
Code. Okay.
BAM's got this mysticism of it's a BAM, or it's the best engine they make, and it absolutely isn't. It's just one of the engines they make.
Yeah. So what's the best one of the 180s that you reckon, in your opinion? There isn't one.
No. The ones that make the most power, ironically, are the later BJX, which is in Polos, not for Ibithas.
Okay, yeah.
They respond really well,
Yeah.
but it's the last of the 20 valves.
Okay, yeah.
BAM's okay, they've got bigger rods and pins,
Mm.
but so have AMKs, so APXs,
Mm.
APYs, AYPs. There's other similarly built internals to a BAM,
Yeah.
but BAM, again, when you clock, because it came out as a 225,
Yeah.
and it was the most powerful one.
So,
The predecessor was a 210,
yeah.
which is an AMK, therefore it's the best.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's just evolution.
Yeah. It's just refinement, really, isn't it?
Emissions driven, that's why they change engine codes.
Yeah.
But
So, it's,
inside, they're the same.
yeah.
The rod changes and compression ratio changes a bit, but
So the weak point on these is the rods,
These are
right?
the rods, sadly, yeah.
So
You can
the,
date back the rods on the 20mm pins, you can date them back to Martin Golfs.
oh really?
Yeah.
Wow, they didn't mess about. They kept that rod going.
Back through, parts bin, reuse it. Yeah, 144 by 20 rod. Find out the Mark 1 1800 Golf.
So if this does good power, well, if it blows up, that's kind of easy because then it's just we need to build an engine. If it doesn't blow up, then I'm in that weird space where it's like, okay, are the audience going to want to make this car like more powerful, and then I'm going to have to go down the road of doing a forged build on it,
Yeah.
or do we keep it as it is and start working more on the handling aspect of things, or lightweight or whatnot? But it would be something I would be interested in, is doing a semi-forged setup, not a full balls out build, but you know, something that can push maybe 350 brake, you know, something. Because I'm not one of those numbers guys. I like the car to perform the power well. I don't want a car that's overpowered or ridiculous. I like a car that can use all the power reliably well and just be fun generally to use, because they do get a bit scary after a point in power as well. So my mind would be like 350 brake, under 400 brake would be a nice place to be. Assuming we could get the back wheels working again, that would be nice.
Yeah, Quattro, you can take that up.
Yeah. But for that, would it just be a rods job, or rods and pistons?
The
Or
minimum is just rods.
yeah.
Yeah, you take the standard pistons, we take them to 500 as our
Okay.
personal max.
So they're pretty good.
The thing you'd probably do, because the mileage on it, if you're taking the head off to do rods, you'd be well advised to just refresh the heads.
Yeah.
Exhaust valve guides are typically things that will wear.
Yeah.
Valves, exhaust valves will quite often be pitted when you're taking them apart.
Yeah.
To refurbish a head, so we don't bother putting standard valves back in, we put incline valves.
Yeah. Okay.
Price for price, they're actually cheaper than the factory valves.
Yeah. Okay.
An update,
Yeah.
an upgrade, so why wouldn't you do that?
Yeah.
Valve springs will generally replace on the basis it's done 20 years of revving.
Of springing. Yeah.
Just refresh it, particularly if your journey is to turn it up. And if you go down sort of careful hybridy routes, the back pressures are more significant.
Yeah.
And a tied exhaust valve spring isn't what you want.
Yeah.
What you want to explore, that kind of thing.
Absolutely.
So just chuck some springs in,
Yeah.
put it together properly, put some decent bearings in, use some decent oil, and send it.
Yeah. Yeah, definitely. I mean, this is what I was saying before, is that like whenever I've gone down the road of doing a build, I usually very much listen to guys like yourself who actually do it, and not the internet, because the internet can be very misleading. There's a lot of misinformation. I don't think people lied to people, but I think people just don't really fully understand, and they get things mixed up in their head, or they listen to someone who's done something but in a different way and assume it's the same way that they're supposed to be doing it. Like, you know, you need to do what's right for your build specifically for what you want. And like you say, there's things that are maintenance, things that you should do anyway if you're in that point, at that point of build. But yeah, like I say, I'm not a numbers guy. I'm not one of those people that chases crazy power. I prefer to have a fun car to drive. And I think this is one of those cars which, with a little bit more lightweighting, which will happen once I start, if I manage to get some racing seats and bits and bobs. I think this car, and some also I do want to do some suspension work to this car. At the moment it's on some relatively cheap coilovers. They're all right, it handles nice, but I could do with some good coilovers. And I would like to do like arms and polybush and, you know, all those good stuff to really make the car handle correctly and be adjustable properly as well for sort of track use.
Yeah, get some nice geometry.
$216.
Yeah.
Not bad.
You're very pessimistic, weren't you?
I was very pessimistic. I was like, no way. 216, that's pretty good. So she's lost 10 horsepower, 9 horsepower. in 23 years. You're a good car, and we like you. And you didn't blow up yet, which is fantastic news.
What fuel's in this?
99.
From where?
Esso, I think. I know, I couldn't, there's no BP or Shell, there's no Shell or Tesco anywhere near where I live. Esso do a 99 now.
Yeah, no, it's shit.
Is it shit? Is it shocking?
Yeah, I did a fuel test before Christmas.
Yeah, and it's shit.
On YouTube.
Oh no. That was literally my only option. I was looking for anything on the way. I couldn't, because I basically emptied the tank yesterday, driving around.
It's less than BP 97.
Is it?
In terms of performance. It's the worst performing fuel.
God's sake.
It's utter shite. As is showing.
That's not good news. Right. So
screen wise, so the yellow bit is the run. This block of stuff going on here, that's timing, knock.
okay.
And the numbers in there is degrees of ignition. It's retarded because of knock.
Because the fuel shit.
Which is predominantly down to is either ingesting a lot of oil, which I doubt,
Yeah.
or the fuel's crap.
Oh, God's sake.
But given this is running standard boost and it has a timing pull from hell,
Yeah.
not great.
Oh, God. Right.
So fuel is not going to help.
So Esso have let me down big time on this.
Yeah.
I had a feeling, because I would have opted for Momentum.
Tesco 99 and or Shell V-Power.
Yeah, I would have gone for Tesco Momentum, ideally.
When I did the tests on them,
They're the two
tell
tests.
them apart
Yeah.
in terms of performance.
Yeah.
You can totally tell it at the pumps because it's way cheaper to buy Tesco.
Yeah.
Which surprises me. I expect Shell to be the better fuel.
Yeah.
And it's okay, but I think it's a bit patchy as to their consistency.
Yeah. From where you get it
On
from.
the street is Tesco is more consistent,
Yeah.
which I find bizarre given it's a supermarket, but reality is it actually seems to be.
So Tesco seem to be the number one 99 if you're going to get a 99.
Yeah.
That's good news. And avoid Esso. That's let me down today. I'm not feeling that. Esso, you, slacking.
My control fuel, when I did the fuel tests in the last year,
Yeah.
the control fuel was BP 97. So
Yeah.
I'll set some of that's just
Middle
a
ground.
good but not trashy 95.
Yeah.
And I detuned the car so it ran a 97
Yeah.
for no knock. And then put 99 in Esso, the next one,
Yeah.
and timing pull. I'm like,
Pull.
What? This is supposed to be 99.
Yeah.
And my base fuel, I turned stuff down so it was okay for BP 97.
Yeah.
And I put 99 in and it knocked.
Bloody hell.
What?
That's crazy.
And I pumped out the Esso, put in, I think it was Tesco next.
Yeah.
No timing pull at all.
Crazy.
They could then add timing, which made power.
Yeah.
And I pumped that out, put V-power in,
Yeah.
went back to the 97 base map, no knock again, and then added timing to
Yeah.
pretty much the same level as the Tesco did, and they make the same power within measurement error. So it performed the same,
Yeah.
both better than Esso by miles,
Yeah.
and not far behind was BP 97, which is
That's crazy.
I was
So-
shocked.
So it's basically Tesco's. So it goes Tesco's, Shell, and then BP 97. That's crazy. And then not Texaco,
Esso.
Esso avoid at all costs.
Esso 99, don't bother.
Is shite. Okay.
Yeah, find BP 97, it works better.
Esso, you have let the side down here. I'll let you know. I will tag you in this because that's interesting. That's interesting.
Results are on my YouTube test.
Yeah, that's very interesting.
Let me
The problem we're having now is it has run good power, but it's pulling timing, which means, what's my GoPro? It's pulling timing, which means it's reducing its power a little bit. And the reason for that is I couldn't get hold of any I couldn't get hold of any Tesco Momentum 99 or any Shell V-Power, which is the best two fuels to run if you're going to do tuning. Esso do a 99 RON performance fuel, but the data is showing that it's garbage. So Esso, do better. You need to do better. So now we need to work out what we're going to do about this, because we can't tune the car how we need to tune it on the fuel that it's on. So we're going to have to possibly pump the fuel out and go down to BP, get some Jerry's of BP and bang it in. Or the other option is throw some octane booster in there, which is probably not the ideal way of doing it because it's artificially increasing, and it's not the fuel that we're going to run on a daily. So let's see what we can do. I'm sure Bill will have a solution to this problem. He's the expert and he has come across this issue before. He's actually got a YouTube video testing the different fuels. If I'd have known this, I would have watched that. I'm actually going to tag the video at the end, so we'll be in the end links, because I think everyone should watch that. Hear me. I'm assuming my noise cancelling mic is working, but it is always nerve-wracking watching your car on a dyno. You're just waiting for a bang or explosion or a pile of steam or a pile of smoke to come out of your car. Fingers crossed. So far so good, but we are just running stock power. It's come up to 225, which is exactly where it should be. So I think Bill's won. The competition now it's got the correct fuel in it. Right, let's see. Now's the time where Bill's gone away to make a map based on the logs. He's logged everything, logged how the car's running, and this is where a custom map really is custom. He's going to take all that data, go back and start writing a map specifically for this engine and this car in the condition that it's in. So hopefully we're going to make some good power. 225 is what we've got out of it stock, so that's pretty impressive. So I think Bill has won the competition at the moment. And there's a bit of argument and debate about that, but someone's getting a pasty and it's not going to be me. I hate to be the bearer of bad news, but she pulled 225. Yeah? Yeah, so you're out. You're not getting a pastry today. Bill's getting a pastry. The boss is getting the pastry. What's the chances of that? That sounds like a fix to me, doesn't it? Sounds a bit like a setup. So yeah. But 225 is not bad out of a 225. Yeah, she's a little bit tired, but she's running. Yeah, she's running good power. We just keep recording for when it blows up. No, I think it'll be all right now. We're looking at the air-fuel ratios, and by stock, because of emissions and everything else, Audi really they leaned out the engine. Lean meaning they run very, very little fuel to help beat the emissions, or not beat the emissions, but meet the emission standards for Euro 4. Lean is always the worst condition you can have in an engine. Less fuel or too little fuel is very bad. It increases exhaust gas temperatures, it increases cylinder temperatures. Fuel not only creates combustion, but it also cools the engine cylinders. A lot of people don't realize that. So it's always safer to run a slightly rich mixture than run too lean. Too lean is the worst condition to have in any engine, especially when you're tuning. So Bill's going to rectify that. And as I said, this is from Audi from stock, because they had to try to meet emission standards of the day. But today we're going to increase, make it a little bit more rich. That'll make it a safer tune and we can run a bit more power. That's the plan. Let's see what happens.
what she's got.
Yep.
Yeah.
It's good to hear.
We're at the max of what it's going to be.
Yep. 225 and we've gone to 253. We've gone from 224 torque for pounds to 261, which is a nice big jump. So we've got some nice power out of this old bird, and there is more to gain. But this is what we're doing for today. With the mods that I've done on the car and with the condition of the car as is, this is where we're going to be, and I'm quite happy with that. I think it's good power. It'll make the car a bit more drivable. We've got a better torque curve there as well, so she'll have more power from lower RPMs, which is always more desirable. So I'm happy. She's still in one piece, hasn't blown up, which is incredible. Smells a little oily, so we found out that the oil pressure sensor, which doesn't work, we know that doesn't work, is leaking. That's a common problem with these cars. So it's in here somewhere, in that hole, void. I've got to get a spanner on it somehow and get it out and get a new one in. So that's the next job I need to do. But that means it's dripping a little bit of oil down the front, so it smells a little bit oily. But all being well, the car's done really well for an old big high miler engine. I'm very impressed. I'm very happy. So I've had a great experience at Badger. Managed to get a nice amount of power out of the car for the age of the car. I mean, better. Had a great experience at Badger. Managed to get a nice amount of power for the car for the age of the car. Really happy with the end. I'm happy it didn't blow up and it hasn't shown any real signs of problems. It's been good. It has got a small oil leak from the oil pressure sensor, which is very common on these cars. It's a bit of a pain in the ass to get to, but I'll fix that. It's a £20 part, but it's a pain in the ass to change, but it needs doing, so we'll do that. The next stage on this car will literally be a few supporting mods, so see if I can get an intercooler, because that will help a lot. There's definitely improvements to be made on the exhaust system if I get a downpipe, sports catalyst and all that stuff, but for the time being, I think the car is at a nice place where I'm more or less ready to challenge Autosportivo's little Fiat Punto. Check the big Badger out. Badger 5. Amazing, absolutely amazing. Big shout out to the guys here. Really knowledgeable bunch, and they haven't broken my car.
I need to send a huge thank you to Badger 5. Bill is incredible, amazingly knowledgeable, and a very friendly guy. I learned so much today that I didn't know, and as a mechanic, you've always got to keep your ears open and learn from people with experience. That is the best way to improve your own skills, and Bill is no exception. He knows everything there is to know about these cars. His boys at the garage as well, they're amazing, great funny guys, and they work on some incredible stuff. And if you look at their workmanship, you can tell they are passionate and very dedicated to their job. I'm really, really happy with the performance this car is giving me now. And the next video, I'm going to actually be giving it a good shakedown road test, and we're going to see how the car is performing, how the new brakes perform, and what sort of power we're pushing when it comes to the actual road. So let's see what happens. It's crazy to think that I've only had this car for about 6 weeks, and the progress it's made in that time has been incredible, and it's all thanks to companies like Badger 5 who have been generous enough to help with this build. I would have never been able to get this far without all the companies that have supported it. And I really don't know how far I'm going to go with this car, but I want to go as far as I possibly can. There's still a fair bit of work to do on this car, but I'm almost at a stage where I feel comfortable taking the car to a track and giving it a good run. Once again, thank you guys for watching.